performance. We are so thrilled to have you here. I do have a confession, a bit of a disclaimer. Earlier this week, I read the CTAF mission statement for the first time, and it said something about a dedication to the classics. What we are about to do has nothing to do with the classics. What we are going to do tonight is do improvisational theater. How many of you have seen improvisational theater before at some point in your life? Excellent, excellent. So you have an idea. I hope you people are. Oh my goodness, what have we been doing all week? All right. Improvisational theater is a unique form. When you go to the theater, of course, you know that the show is rehearsed, you know that they've practiced this stuff and that they know their lines. But we're lazy actors, I guess. We don't practice, we don't rehearse. But we don't have anything prepared. We haven't memorized any lines. We're going to come here and find out what happens. And it's a unique performance because we use you. We use your ideas, your suggestions, and you're going to help us fill out this show because we don't know exactly what we're supposed to perform tonight. You're going to help us. You're going to tell us. You're going to give us suggestions. So throughout the night, we're going to ask you for suggestions. So I'm going to practice with you a little bit. We're going to ask you for some suggestions. Oh, and by the way, Rick, did you call me Mark? You did. Okay, by the way, everybody's going to call me Omar tonight, and that's because that's my nickname. Only my mother and my wife call me Omar, or call me Mark. Everybody else calls me Omar. So let's practice. Say, hey, Omar. It makes me feel at home. Hey, Omar. Thank you so much. That's so great. So we're going to ask you for suggestions. We might even ask for some volunteers to get on stage and help us with some of the scenes. So let me ask you a few questions just to get you warmed up with the idea. Let me ask you a simple question first. How did you get here tonight? Walk. Most of you walked. Anybody drive? Yes, a few. Okay, good. What about, what was the last thing somebody said to you before you left the house tonight?
I love you.
I love you. That's sweet. That's great. Okay, we could take the words "I love you" and turn that into an entire scene. That suggestion would then be filled out. Or we could take the idea of walking to get someplace and turn that into an entire scene. Let's go for something a little more complicated. Let's talk about maybe something that you can fit in a bread box, an object.
Mousetrap.
Mousetrap. A mousetrap. We can build a better mousetrap. So we do a whole scene, and it would have something to do with a mousetrap. Let's do a few more. Let's get some of the actors. You have some suggestions or questions you would like to ask the audience tonight.
What's a good vacation place?
Mars. Alpha. That's not what I heard. All right,
The worst book you've ever read.
the worst book you've ever read.
Moby Dick!
Dedicated to the classics, young man. Dedicated to the classics. All right, that's the idea. That's the idea. We're going to ask you questions, and that's how we'll work throughout the evening. So keep your brain prepared. We need to warm the actors up. They need to get prepared. They need to get ready. So we're going to play a little game to get them started called Freeze Tag. And in Freeze Tag, we get two actors on stage. Can I have two actors and two actors? Yes. Chad and Steve. Chad and Steve are going to start the scene. And they'll get into the scene based on one of your fabulous suggestions. In the middle of the scene, they'll stop because somebody will yell,
Freeze!
From the side. By the way, does everybody know Jennifer Matthews, our production manager?
Yeah!
We have imposed upon Jennifer. Jennifer got me into improvisation 10 years ago. I blame this all on her.
It's always my fault.
It is always Jennifer's fault. So they'll get into an interesting physical position. Somebody will yell,
Freeze!
and then one of the other actors will come in from the side, tap on these two actors on the shoulder, take the exact same physical position, and start a brand new scene based on that same physical position. It will make more sense as you see it done. All right, so Jennifer and Steve are going to start the scene, I guess, because that's who we've got up here. And to get them started, we need something you would like to do on your day off, if you ever get one. Sleep! Sleep! Freeze!
I love the grass. Don't you? It's so green.
Yes, Billy, but your mother is going to be furious if you get stains all over those clothes.
I don't care what Mom thinks. I want to get him sturdy as I possibly can.
Let's get jiggy with it!
I know I wasn't so bad, girl, but why do I have to be captured from cops and robbers? Get these off of me! No, I'm gonna go tell Mom, and if she doesn't believe me, then I'm gonna die with these on me.
I lost the keys. Billy has them.
Mr. DeVille, I'm ready for my close-up.
No, I think you need to be more clownish. Clownish.
I have to be clownish. I'm a movie star. Now film me.
Oh, thank heaven.
34, 35, you better have a good hiding spot this time. 46, 47, 48, 100. Wow, she's really good.
Freeze! So you pour the water gently on the seed grow, little seed grows.
As you all know, improv is dangerous. And we witnessed to this by we have an injured player this week, but she is gamely going to go on tonight. And, do you want a chair or do you want the pillar?
Oh, I got pillar.
You got the pillar. All right. Susanna has a special gift. Susanna is a storyteller. She's been working on some short stories, novellas, and such. And tonight she is going to have the improvised performance of one of her short stories. Is that correct?
That's right.
And so we're going to get a couple of actors up here with me to perform
Two
this story.
actors, please.
Two actors. Vince and I will do it. And let's get.
Three actors is
And what do you want to get started, Susanna?
I need three exotic names.
Billy.
We have Billy, Clarice, and one more. And I need fast food restaurant. Once upon a time, there was a man named Billy, and he was in love with Clarice, who works at the fast food restaurant Bojangles. He would visit her every day and order the same thing, fried chicken with a biscuit.
Can I have fried chicken with a biscuit?
Certainly. Now, the old manager, Methuselah, did not approve of this relationship because Clarice was his daughter.
Eat quickly. Eat at the outside benches.
But Father, I love him.
I don't want you seeing that no good do for nothing son of a. I don't want you. Again, if he comes in here tomorrow, I want you to tell him that we no longer serve. Mark my words.
Clarice was broken-hearted. Was your ticket okay? Clarice was overjoyed, but she did not tell her father because, well, he would be mad.
I told my father he would be mad.
Can I speak to the manager?
Yes.
Yes. I must.
Okay.
Father,
Yeah?
be kind, be understanding.
What's he doing back here?
I'd like to work here, sir.
Oh. Work experience? College education?
Methuselah thought long and hard about this.
Says here you've been to the MasterWorks Festival.
Please, Father.
Well, son, I used to think you were no good, do nothing. But this, I'm going to give you a shot. Stay away from my daughter.
I need a mode of transportation. I heard train. I need a place that two people work together. Hair salon. You guys know me as production manager here. You've seen my work on sets and designs, but what you don't know is that I'm also a budding director. And I've been working on the scene of this new play called The Train to the Hair Salon. We've encountered a few little problems, so first of all, I want you guys to see my scene. So I need my actors on stage, my two actors, please.
Oh, great.
All right, and this is our scene. This is our scene that we've been working on
From
in
the- what's the name
rehearsal,
of it again?
from The Train to the Hair Salon.
Oh, the train to the hair salon. Right,
Right,
that one.
that
We've got
one.
so many we've been working
I
on.
know. Scene two, please.
Scene two.
Scene two.
All aboard! Are you going to help me shovel coal, or are you just going to work on your hair?
I've got better things to do than work on a train all my life.
Darling, I've worked hard for you. I put in lots of long hours, and now finally, we're getting on the train, and we're going to go to North Dakota. You know why we're going to North Dakota? We're going to North Dakota because they don't have any hair salons. And you are such a fabulous hairdresser. You can open up a hair salon there, but we'll never get there if we don't shovel the coal.
What you don't know is that this train will take me straight on the way to North Dakota.
Freeze, freeze, freeze! You guys see my problem here? Well, maybe we need something to get them going, something to just motivate them in the rest of the scene. I like to read a lot. I like to read novels. Does somebody have a favorite genre of novel they like to read?
Romance.
Science fiction. Add a little science fiction to this. Let's see what.
There is a little town where I have put in an application for a new experimental haircut.
What does this hair color do?
This hair color not only changes the tone of your hair, the hue, as it were, it changes the very texture, the very
Of your hair?
weight of the hair.
Yeah, freeze, freeze. That was interesting. I saw some new things coming out that time that I want you to remember when we run the scene again. In rehearsal tomorrow. Of course. Maybe we need to add something from a movie. What's your favorite type of a movie?
Action.
What was that?
The color of the hair in human beings is a fascinating topic. It requires chromosomes from both the mother and the father to create the hair. Most people don't realize that there are only 365 distinct colors. We think that there are a lot more because of the variation of the weaving of the hair. But as you can see, if you look closely, really, 365 is all we have. But the one you're discussing, we don't have that one.
What's really interesting is that there is a small town in Indiana called Winona Lake. And in this place, some very interesting scientists have come up with a new formula. It's a lot like salt, except you replace the sodium with nitrous oxide.
Freeze! We're gonna lose them with all that. Way too technical. Let's give it one more shot. All right. For this, I need a musical style.
Riverdale.
Classical. Riverdale. And for my chorus members, be prepared. We need to help them.
I understand that you have a new color of hair. But we must take this to North Dakota. Help me shovel the coal!
Ladies and gentlemen, we all love to communicate, especially us actors. This is a game about communication, but it's about creative communication that's constantly interrupted. So I'm going to need 2 actors on the stage, please. Don't all rush at once. Now, they're going to start a scene about a color. Purple. Aquamarine. Whenever you're ready.
You know, this is a very strange color for a marina to be painted aqua like this.
Somehow, red just didn't fit. And you know, when picking out the colors, I was like, yes. No. Aquamarine is the wrong color. I told them 100 times I wanted turquoise. I told them 100 times I wanted purple. Nothing says the ocean like purple.
You really need to talk to your contractors. This is ridiculous. You really need to talk to your brother about this because he's the one who did the work.
I'm a big believer in nepotism. I'm a big believer in hiring people I love. I'm a big believer in hiring somebody, and he was the last person.
I'm shocked you didn't consider me. I mean, you know, I can do this.
I'm sorry, but your technique is really lacking.
I am. Okay, you know, I did have that whole carpal tunnel thing. I did have that whole, you know, loss of the hand thing. Well, yeah, the doctor's been really amazing. Yeah, it was kind of weird. I stepped into some plutonium and...
Plutonium now, there's a color. What do you think of plutonium gray, right?
Oh, that would really work with the seals. Oh, that would really work with the things that you will put there. Anyways, thank you very much. I just forget what I know.
Well, I can understand. I should just call them waddling birds.
Well, you know, they're not really birds. They don't fly, for heaven's sake. You have to fly for it to be a bird. Anyway, what am I talking about? Yes, plutonium. I don't think that would really work over there. I think plutonium would work more over here with the walruses. With the kangaroos. I'm not exactly sure why you have those here.
They swim. Kangaroos can swim. Kangaroos can't swim. It'd be an interesting experiment. I thought it'd be funny to watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have an extra special treat for you tonight. We have brought over continents a famous poet for you tonight. She comes from the faraway land of Africa. Like the wow, you just have to come from Africa. Got it. And she is going. Come this way. Come on. Come this way. All right, and she is going to speak to us her most famous new poem. All right, now she has. Oh, okay, yes, she has a dancer, an interpreter. So we need her interpretive dancer to come up. They do not speak a word of English, and so I'm going to be translating the poem. All right. Okay, so one part of modern poetry. Was a low. I could not see the sun. My dirt was weary and pulled me down to the soul. My leaves were heavy. They weighed on me. I tore it to the natural. A little water, please. Parasin, and then the rain, that came. Dance in the rain. It soaks into my head. Thank you, Lord, for flowers.
When Omar explained that we are not working in the classics, Patrick texted me, and obviously he texted Christy as well. He sent out a broadcast text, get back to the classics. So there we had the dance. Yeah, and some poetry. And now we're going to some classical works. And so I have here several plays from which to choose from, and I'll let you guys vote. And I need a fellow actor to join me in this, thank you. And so we are going to be acting partly with script, partly without. And so here is your chance to vote. We are either going with 4 great plays by Henrik Ibsen, Othello, A Tale of Two Cities, Anne of Green Gables. The Curious Savage.
That's the one!
For you later. And The Mousetrap, Agatha Christie.
Alright, to get us started on this, I need a page number between 4 and
27.
128.
48!
74.
And I need a type of vegetable.
Broccoli!
Squash.
You do? That's fine. I feel better now. Thanks so much.
You bet.
Seems terrible anxious to be friends, doesn't it?
I think we're gonna make a lot of friends with this squash pudding.
I don't know.
Just try it. Come here and try it.
I'll find one for you that ain't tainted with freckle remover.
I'm so sorry about that. I don't know how that got in here. Yeah, I'll start a new batch. Where'd the rest of the squash go?
You mean you're gonna take me away with you to get that squash?
Would you come?
On vacation?
Well, I don't think it'll take that long.
You won't try to inflict punishment, will you?
Depends on how big the squash are.
Why do you speak so startlingly and rash?
The squash has, yeah, I cleaned it out.
Handkerchief.
I cleaned it out.
She might have better saved her money.
A man that hath all his time founded his good fortunes on your love share dangers with you.
You know, deep down in your heart, you appreciate.
Heaven bless us.
We can get some more squash here, and we need a hose. We need to hose it out. That's what we need.
Is it possible?
Someone hose it? Thank you. There, it's all clean. This squash pudding now is going to be the bomb.
It's the kind of pie I've always liked the least anyway.
I remember a mass of things, but nothing distinctly.
You don't remember the ingredients? You were going to bring some
I
stuff.
protest in the sincerity of love and honest kindness.
I'll just tell you plain that I think you're doing a mighty risky thing. You've no idea what you're getting.
How poor are they that have not patience?
Okay, then let's go for Krispy Kreme.
We actors tend to be a tad temperamental. I don't think we need any more introduction to that. For this next bit, to display this for you, I'm going to need the help of two actors to come up here. And I'm going to need the help of an actor off on this side. Okay, in this next sketch, I will be giving Christie's emotions to her in order to more control the burning furnace within her. And Tiffany will be supplying Jessica's emotions to her. But in the scene we're going to perform, we need some help. So somebody describe a household activity.
Vacuuming.
Cleaning the bathroom.
Drinking coffee. Fighting.
This is going to be a sketch about drinking coffee.
Man, you just gotta love those soldiers. Yeah.
Is that a calf or decaf?
I don't know, I'm not awake yet. Hopefully Kathy knows that.
Christy, Perky.
Well, you know, I don't need coffee anyway, so.
Just be quiet. You're always so perky in the morning. I hate it, okay? I gotta go to work in like 5 minutes and you're just
Does somebody have a piece of lemonade? No.
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? I don't know what talks to me in the morning because I always look so bad.
Press.
You look
Right? You always look great. I mean, you do. Even if I don't.
just hysterical.
I don't even look great because I drink too much coffee
going to do a thing about it.
You know, I realized you didn't pick up water with a broom. What was I thinking?
Oh, this is so good. Oh.
That's hard awake, Dina.
About the possibility of doing an all-faculty scene, but we kind of already did one of those with 3 of us. We had Rich and Jennifer and I all get up here at the same time, but we missed Patricia, director of the Crucible. So I want to get Patricia into a scene along with Rich and Jennifer, and I think I'll take Inga for this. We're going to do a moving body scene here. What that means is that 2 of our actors, who's going to speak in the scene? Jennifer and Rich, maybe? Okay, Jennifer and Rich are going to speak in the scene. They've got a little problem. They can't move. And so Inga and Patricia are going to help them out by providing them with their movements. We give a little demonstration there with the 2 actors, just show how we're going to help them out by giving them some movements. If they need to walk across the stage, they will just... If they need to move across the stage, just a little shove of the small back and they'll move. Because they can't move themselves. All right. Lost all ability to move. All right, great. Great demonstration. Okay. Calm down, Rick. Calm down. All right. So we need them. Give them an offer to start the scene. We'd like to get maybe a place. No, let's get a simple task. Something you might
brush your teeth.
Going to the bank.
Brushing your teeth. Brushing the teeth.
You're an eagle.
Oh, I have the fuzziest teeth on earth. All I did was eat pizza in the cafeteria.
Stop whipping my brain.
Sorry about that. I really need to brush.
Yes, you do. Hey, do you want to borrow some crafts?
Oh, I'm headed to the bathroom right now. Oh, bad hair day. I think my toothbrush. Gargle there.
It's good. Minty fresh.
Ooh, I smell it all the way over here. Ooh, still a bad hair day. Okay, I'd love to come try it. I really would.
Here we go.
Thanks.
There we go.
That's it, good. I just spit it all out. I still need to brush my teeth, though.
Hey, Jen.
Yeah.
You got some in your nose right here.
Did I get it?
I think so. Yeah, it's got it.
Thank you. Now what do I do?
I don't know. Oh, you're like something here. I'm sorry.
All right. Still, the problem remains my teeth are still fuzzy, although my breath is minty fresh.
It is.
I still need to brush.
That is a much better. Oh, here. Borrow my crafts.
Thank you. I need to get my toothbrush, though, from the sink. It's still over there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we're going to the sink. On the red one or the blue one?
Yours is the blue one.
Still a bad hair day.
Here we go.
Thank you.
It's only 3 minutes. Oh, okay. Thus, I'm going back. I'm brushing again.
What?
You look right. Your hair looks great, too. Oh, I'm going to brush your teeth, too. You were so fast. Yeah. There we go. Oh, whoa! All right. Hey, I think we are ready to face the day.
Oh, I think so, too. What time is it?
It is 9:15. Oh, we're late!
We're going to get high school curfew because we're late for rehearsal.
right back here. Somebody's very eager to come up. Can I get one more? Okay, in the back over there. First hand left off. Tiffany and I are going to do a scene here. What do you think, please? Zach and Christian. Zach and Christian, ladies and gentlemen. Tiffany, you just kind of give them the first spots of what they're going to be doing. I'll tell the audience. What's going to happen here is Tiffany and I are going to be performing a scene, and every once in a while we will find that we are at a loss for words. And when we get to that point where we are at a loss for words, we will tap one of these two people on their shoulder, and they will say the first word that comes into their head. And we've got them looking upstage for a reason. We don't want them thinking about the scene. We want them mind-wandering, daydreaming. And the first random word that comes into their mind, they will say, we will have to make it make sense. That's our job. So, to get us started, what would you like? Person, place, thing, animal, vegetable, mineral.
Vegetable.
Vegetable.
Cabbage.
There's a theme tonight. Cabbage is what I heard. So the scene involves cabbage somehow.
Think it's ready to be picked?
I have no idea. How do you tell when the cabbage is ready to be picked? When we decided to become farmers, Martha, I think we should have read a book or something. Because all I know is that right now it is plug in to the ground. It's plugged into the ground. And it needs to be unplugged from the ground.
It makes it easier to use that way.
It's absolutely, I don't want to eat it while it's still plugged into the ground.
Oh, maybe we should get...
Deodorant. Yeah, it stinks out here in the garden.
When you cook it,
Oh, it's terribly smelly when you cook it. But first, we've got to get it out of the ground. So maybe, how do we tell if it's ready? Maybe there's some sort of sign. Maybe it changes colors or... Kick it? Yeah, and if you kick it and it is... Donkey-ish. Like it kind of kicks back. Go ahead and do it. Try it. Oh, okay.
maybe we should try...
Well, Matt Kiefer. Is Matt around? No. Is one of you Matt Kiefer? Isn't one of you Matt Kiefer? He's right here. We're trying to grow cabbage, but we know nothing about farming, and we don't know if it's ready. How do we tell if it's ready?
It's big and you pick it.
Oh, not unplug it? That's not the right term? Oh. Kick it?
No.
It's like thumping a watermelon in the store? No? You just pulled it right off. Oh. Let's put deodorant and mix the soup.
Hello, this game is called Forward and Reverse. Would you call the director?
Sure, yeah,
And would
absolutely.
another actor come with me?
Here's a little known fact. I can control time. Yes, it's true. And I'm going to control time in this scene. Jessica and Kaylin are going to do, and I'm going to show you how I can control time. First, they need something to get their scene started. Can I get a faraway place that doesn't exist?
Neverland.
Where?
Neverland.
Neverland. Neverland. All right.
I'll never give it back, Peter.
Freeze! Reverse.
Never give it back, Peter.
Freeze! Forward.
Never give it back, Peter.
We have to give that back, or we can't fly away!
Mine now.
Freeze! Reverse.
Now, mine is. Never give it back, Peter.
Freeze! Forward.
Never give it back,
Give it back! Oh,
Peter. It's mine now. Oh, it's so pretty.
Freeze! Reverse.
Pretty so. It's
Freeze! Forward.
oh, Now, come on.
No, I wasn't killing her.
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't killing her.
Well, she looks dead.
I wasn't killing her,
Yes, you
no.
were.
Oh,
It's been a hard week being probably blow my horn. Sarah, you want to come up with me? We're going to do a little scene called English Gibberish. In this scene, at all times, one of us is speaking English. That would be me. And one of us is speaking gibberish.
oh.
Until the horn honks.
In which case, I take over and I start speaking English.
So Zero, and I finish the scene in gibberish.
And so let's get started.
To get us started, if we could have a suggestion. I forgot what my suggestion was there. If we could have a suggestion of when did you go to bed last night? 11 a.m. It's 2 a.m. Well, you can complain about the heat all you want, but that doesn't change your mind that it's 2 a.m. and you're late. And you were running across campus as fast as you could. I understand that, but you're still late for your curfew. What do you have to say for yourself?
I was washing the dishes in the kitchen.
Yes, no me that, and this, you me that, and this, yeah, but oh, yeah, and that,
I'm sorry. Maybe we can talk to Dr. Kavanaugh?
That's all right, as you want. That's all I need, didn't you? Help! Nobody listens to me when I try to run my dorm.
Yeah, Susanna and, who else knows the tattoo monologue?
Come on. You did
Okay,
it.
you know it, people.
I didn't get this one. Although I look forward to watching it.
We're making this Susanna accessible. The way this works is we as theater people love to do monologues. However, there's too many of us and not near enough time and interest for you to hear all of us. So instead, we're all going to help do one monologue. Now, we're all going to be one character, and we're all going to tell the same story. And we're just going to tag each other in and out. Susanna will start, and we need suggestion from the audience.
Pineapple.
All right? Very good. Pineapple. So, pineapples and baseball. And Susanna, start.
Now, Aunt Leela told me I should not start a pineapple business, but I told her that I can make loads of things out of pineapples. I mean, you got your pineapple stew, pineapple baby carriages, pineapple flip-flops.
There are all kinds of pineapple clothing that you can make. well, you can eat pineapple too, I guess. But I was really interested in pineapple, and they make things from hemp. Why not pineapple? Let's get some pineapple fabric and some pineapple threads. It's a little
Cold outside, so maybe we could sew the needles together, you know, the leaves that come out of the top, and make a new dress for myself. I thought that should be warm. Warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Now, pineapple clothing doesn't last a very long time. In fact, it's only about a day and a half if you push it. So I thought this was the best idea ever, and I thought all I need is a little capital to get started. And so I went down to the local bank, and do you know they wouldn't give me a loan?
Aww.
They gave me a basket. They said, you go to Jamaica and you pick your own pineapple. I was furious.
I thought that was so rude. So I decided that I would just do it without any capital. On the internet. So I got my own website. It's pineappleclothing.com. You all come and check it out. I got a fine line shorts and underwear.
And pants and sandals, and they all smell so sweet. Like fresh pineapple. Kind of makes you warm and fuzzy inside. And a little hungry. Now, pineapple in the old days was a sign of hospitality. They'd put it in the guest room, and when the guests came around, they'd put a basket of pineapples whenever they was ready for the guests to leave. And used a symbol of hospitality, southern hospitality, to be the logo of my business. Please come and buy from me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so very much for coming. It's been fabulous working with these people this week, and we want to show you one last thing tonight. But first of all, I just want to thank you for coming. I want to get 4 or 5 people up here who know what we're about to do. Or more. Wow. Okay, good. Everybody loves this. Everybody loves this. So we've shown you our poetic side. We have shown you our dramatic side, we hope. Of course, our comedic side. Now we're going to show you our musical side. We are going to do for you tonight an improvised oratorio. Here at a camp dedicated to the classics, you all know what an oratorio is. You know, Mendelssohn's Elijah, Handel's Messiah. This will sound exactly nothing like it. But it'll be an improvised oratorio. It's going to be based on one of your fabulous suggestions. Can I guess? No, your favorite Bible story is what I was thinking. Jonah. Oh yeah. This is the oratorio of Jonah. Can we make sure we get in around Susanna? Susanna, if you'd be so kind as to get us. All right, you can give us the notes.
Swallow. Thank you for lying for us.
You think I'm laughing, but I'm not. I'm actually joked up. These people are great, and you are privileged to be having here. Come see them in the Crucible. They're doing fantastic work on that too. They're grounded as artists. They're grounded as believers, and I'm so thankful, so privileged and honored to work with you. Thank you so much. Tonight, we're going to move into another part of this time together. Rich has asked me to just share a little bit. These people are probably tired of me talking about my theology of improv. But the truth is, improvisation has a lot to do with what's happened in my spiritual journey. And so Rick asked me to share just briefly about why improvisation and my spiritual journey have kind of coincided, especially over the last 5 to 10 years. To set this up, I need to explain that I'm a control freak. And the fact that I'm teaching improv at MasterWorks is kind of ironic because I'm actually the last person to be spontaneous. I like to control things. I like to run things. And so the fact that I'm here and I've gotten to this point is actually not just a testament to what's happened to me artistically, but it's a testament to what's happened to me spiritually. And between the years of 2002, 2004, there's a whole bunch of big events in my life. And a lot of them were good and some of them were bad. And it was just a really stressful time because I went to a job that I thought was going to be my dream job, and it was very stressful, and after a couple years I had to leave it. My father died during that time, which was it wasn't unexpected. He was ill for a long time, but it was very hard, obviously, to lose a parent. My wife and I moved, which is always traumatic, moving. We also left our church home of 10 years and had to find a new church home. And there's all these events going on in my life and all this unsettledness, and as a control freak, you can imagine that kind of bothered me. I really wanted to control. And the message that kept coming back from God was, do you trust me? Do you trust me? Get through this. And the funny thing is, and these actors will tell you this all week, I've been telling them that improv is about a few very simple things. It's about saying yes to the moment. It's about trusting. And it's about listening. And I'm going to tell you 3 kind of things. There's a lot more to this, but I'm going to give you 3 examples of kind of the ways in which my improvisational career and my spiritual life were dovetailing over the last years, and especially over that time period that was so difficult, where I was struggling to control my life, and God was saying, do you trust me? Do you trust me? Do you trust me? One of them came actually from Randy Dixon, a man who's not a Christian. It just shows how people can come to you and speak to you even if they don't know they're being used by God. But Randy was a guy who was an improv instructor, fantastic improv instructor in Seattle, and he was coming to work with our team. And as we're working on trying to get to some more complicated forms, some more interesting stuff, one of the things he said just struck and really resonated with me. He said, everything you need to succeed in improv is in your scene partner. So when you're on stage with that other person, everything you need is in them, which conversely means, of course, that everything they need is in me. And that's just this concept that kind of sunk in and I thought about for a while. And then a good dear friend of mine who's a spiritual director was talking to me about kind of the different parts of our personality, body, mind, spirit, will, and talking about how all of those parts of our mind, body, and spirit need to work together as Christians, and they need to all have voice at the table. And then she asked me a very interesting question. She said, what's at the head of your table? You saw me struggling with all these things in my life. I was changing a job. I was unemployed for 5 months, which I'd never been unemployed in 20 years, which is a control freak. You don't want to be unemployed. And she said, who's sitting at the head of your table? Which part of your person is sitting at the head of your table? And I said, well, that's an interesting question. I don't know, my mind, my will, something. And she says, shouldn't it be your spirit? I said, well, why spirit? And she says, because the spirit is the part that communes with the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit dwells within you, and that's the only part you can trust, because it's the part that's in communion directly with God. So why isn't the Spirit at the head of the table? I say, I can't trust the Spirit. I can't trust my Spirit. I can't trust the Holy Spirit. She says, then you've got a problem. You've got a problem. And so I mulled over that for a while. How do I trust the Spirit? How do I trust that Spirit is competent to take care of me, to pay the bills? Has anybody ever had one of those nudges, those hunches that tells you to take this street today instead of that street, and then found out later there was a 5-car accident on the other street? You ever had that nudge? You called a friend at 4 a.m. in the morning, and then you found out that that was the day that they really need somebody to pray with them in the middle of the night? Anybody had one of those nudges, or know somebody had one of those nudges? Yeah. That's the Spirit. When we listen to Spirit, when we follow that Spirit, when we're in communion with God day to day, praying without ceasing, that's what she was talking about. But I didn't have Spirit at the head of my little control table. And then the third thing was something actually that a pastor said recently, and talking about our spiritual journey. I think Joyce and Rich and I talked about this our first night over at the Boathouse. The idea that there are 3 legs to the stool of our Christian faith. And the first one is, of course, the Bible. We know that we need the Scripture, we need the Word. That's where we start. We also know that we need that direct relationship with God every day. Not just praying when we're together, not just praying before our meals, praying without ceasing, praying as we breathe in, as we breathe out, praying as we do every activity that we do, praying without ceasing. So that direct relationship is the second pillar. And then the final pillar being the community of faith, the people that we come in. And so then as I started to think about why is it that I come back again and again to improv, it was my sanity a lot of times during this period of time, and I realized because I'm learning to trust. I'm learning to listen to the Spirit of God, learning to trust that He dwells within me and that I can trust those nudges if I'm in communion with Him, if I'm listening with Him, that I can trust my community of faith to give back to me and that they can trust me to be there for them. And that when we do fall, when we make mistakes, I told them all this week, you will make mistakes. You will stumble and fall when we try this. But we pick each other back up. And that's what the community of faith does for us. And so, to conclude this, I guess I just want to drill home to you that same message that I was being told. God kept coming back to me and saying, do you trust me? And I have to say, I trust Him a lot more now than I did 5 years ago. Because it's about radical trust. It's about jumping off the cliff. It's about standing in front of the bus. We have a phrase in improv, you can stand in front of the bus because the bus isn't real. It's true. It's true. You can stand in front of the bus, it's okay because the bus isn't real. But that's what God is asking us to do. We don't get to know what's going to happen tomorrow. You know, we want to know what's going to happen next year. Forget that. You don't get to know what happens tomorrow. I'm supposed to fly back to Seattle tomorrow. Is that going to happen? I don't know. I think so. We don't get to know. What we get is this moment with the Spirit today, now. We read the Bible. We have the constant communion with God. We trust our community of faith to pick us up. So those 3 pillars. So it's about radical trust. Christ came down to live with us, to be with us. That's how much He loved us. He was obedient enough to go to the cross. And He was powerful enough to overcome death. And all He asks from us is to jump off the cliff. That's all. We did all of that. If He did all that for us, He loved us that much. How can we do any less than jump off the cliff? And that's what improv represents. Jump off the cliff. And I see it every time I come on stage, especially with Christian performers. That's why I love doing it with Christian performers. Because when I get up here, I trust, and I know that they're going to pick me up, that they're going to love me, and I'm going to love them, and we can take care of each other. These people stretch themselves enough this week. Some of them have never done this before. Some of them have. We tried to do what we could with each person and take them to the next level. And I can trust them. And so finally, to complete the metaphor, I just thought about, well, if we're the community of faith up here, trusting each other and working back and forth and working out our faith and listening to our instincts and listening to the Spirit as it happens, who's the audience? Well, the audience is everybody else who's not a Christian. There's a seeker who's kind of on the edge, maybe thinking about it, not quite ready to jump in. But they're watching. They're paying attention. They know when we get honked and we didn't pay attention to it. They know what we're doing. And they're going to notice if it's phony. They're going to notice if it's unauthentic. If it's rehearsed or practiced, we're trying to put on a shining face and it's not working. They know. And they'll also notice if we take care of each other. They notice if we're having fun. They notice if the Christian life looks like something that's worthwhile. So jump off the cliff. Trust each other. Listen to the Spirit. Take care of each other. Radical trust. God, that's all we ask. Trust Him. Trust Him. So, thank you for the opportunity to be here. Thank you for these people.